Well, that didn't work out the right way.
You're so
Ah,
blue.
now it's too high. God damn it.
What's that look for?
Yeah, I don't think I can hear you. I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh.
I have it set up right, though.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hangouts was not going to my headphones. Not my headphones, my microphone.
Wow, you just suddenly went from kind of clear to so much clearer. I could see what you were muffled. Now all of a sudden you're super clear.
Ah!
Right? Pretty much that thing.
Okay, I think I have everything turned off that I don't need.
Right? Hopefully the fans aren't too loud. I'm sorry, but my mom turned the air off because it's like 65 out. But that means that like the house is stuffy as hell.
I can't hear any fans, so it's probably fine.
Okay, good. I mean, they're pointing away from the microphone. But otherwise, it's god-awful down here because, honestly, the furnace needs to be running. Like, not the furnace, but the fans on the furnace need to be running, and she doesn't run them because just, like, the noise from the furnace at night. Even though she can't hear it, because it's down here next to my office. But she wanted to air the house out, so it's like 80 out, and anyway, I'll just be hot. It's whatever.
Let's see, what's the temperature right now? 80.
Right. It was nice today. It was like in the 70s, and all of a sudden the sun came out at the end of the night, and it was like, whoop! Temperature shot up, and it's like, this is my life now. I'll just suffer in a sweaty mess.
Poor Cupcake.
I mean, I could go upstairs and close all the windows and turn the air on, but she'd probably get ticked.
I have the air conditioner on.
Well, you have to. There's not a choice where you are. It was actually mild today. It was like 55 when I woke up this morning to go to work.
That's pretty
Like
good.
the first taste of fall. It's August the 10th. And everybody's terrified that means like fall's coming because you had one cool day. I'm like, it's gonna be hot the rest of the week. Like, no, it's gonna be cold. We're all gonna die. It's not ice age. But climate change isn't real. Anyway.
Climate change isn't real. White supremacy's not real. Rape's not
White
real.
supremacy is an urban legend.
Oh yeah. So many advertisers are pulling out from that show.
Oh yeah. That was not a smart thing to say.
Yeah, and he's on vacation now.
Right. Unless they're saying, get the fuck out of Dodge while we try to fix this mess.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reality. Like, you could think whatever you want, but the problem is the majority of people don't like it when you say shit like that. Even if you don't personally believe it's real, the problem is the rest of society does, and advertisers want to keep money coming in.
Yeah. I'd certainly pull out.
Well, I mean, you have purpose to pull out, but I mean, think about a company like, I don't know, Kraft pulling out of its advertising. Like, yeah, I know we're selling food, but yeah, we're gonna... I mean, Kraft didn't actually pull out, but you know what I'm saying? Like, you hear about this, like, somebody says something crazy, and some advertiser you weren't even expecting, like, Nabisco pulls out, and they're like, what? And then Nabisco's like, hey, man, Oreos are black and white for a reason, goddammit. And then you have Skittles at, like, during Pride Month, they're like, we're going gray so you can share the rainbow with all your friends. Like, wait, what? There's enough rainbows going around. We're going gray this month. They do that every month during Pride. I'm not even joking.
They go gray?
Yeah, they're all, like, black, whites, and grays. It's still the same flavors. They just take all the colors away.
Huh.
I don't remember exactly how they wrote the message, but it's supposed to be in support of Pride. It's something about, like, sharing the rainbow with your friends or something. Or making your own rainbow. I don't know. It's supposed to be a positive message. I'm making it sound horrible.
I guess I see where they're coming from.
I'll look it up. I don't remember what that joke is.
Hello and welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Super Happy Fun Jabbertron Tea Party podcast with Kiki and Cupcake. Sorry this one was put out so late, but what are you gonna do about it? It's not like you paid for it. Anyway, enjoy the show.
So you've been watching, what is it? Is it Ray Zero or R Zero?
ReZero? Yeah.
ReZero? Okay.
It's crazy. Crazy.
Look, all I knew about it is that it had twins.
Yes.
Because I see them everywhere.
They're red and blue ogres.
Oh!
They don't say it right away, but if you know anything about Japanese folklore, it's pretty clear right away that they're supposed to represent red and blue ogre.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because the red one is super, passionate and full of fire and emotion, and the blue one's very cold and calculating. Much more, thoughtful. Which is the same characteristics as the characters. But yeah, that show is dark. Dark.
I did see a gif where the lead's head comes off, so I guess it's dark.
That happens pretty regularly, I hate to say.
Okay.
He gets literally obliterated almost every episode.
Oh.
He spends the first probably 5 or 6 episodes, every episode at least once, being horribly maimed by something or somebody.
What is the point of the show?
I don't know! So, it's an isekai, but it's what if you mix isekai with, horror? Because, he dies, horribly. Fairly regularly. The first episode, he gets murdered in an alleyway by muggers. He's like, you're not gonna mug me. He tries to walk through, and the guy stabs him with a dagger, and it's just oh, shit. I'm dying. What? But I'm the protag. And then his game is that he revives every time he dies.
That
so it's just
sounds like hell.
There's one episode where he's staying at the castle or whatever where the main girl character is from, and he hears something outside of his room, and he goes out to investigate just to see what's going on. He doesn't say anything or start any fights or anything. It's just out there. You just hear this clanky noise, and you see him get hit by something, and he kind of looks around what the hell just happened, and he looks up, and his right leg is hanging in the chandelier above his head. Whatever hit him so hard it blew his leg right off.
Wow. Okay, I guess I have to watch that.
And literally the guy just goes, "Oh fuck!" and grabs his leg and is screaming as the blood is pouring out of the stump of what is left of his leg, below the knee. And then you hear footsteps and the clanking of chains, and it doesn't show you what, but from an off skew you see the top of the hallway or whatever, and you hear something hit the floor, and just a splatter of blood up the wall, and then an eyeball rolls away from the puddle of blood where he was. Something hit him so hard it obliterated him. And this kind of death happens regularly to him.
Oh.
He doesn't die quick, fast deaths. He dies horrible, nightmarish, torturous deaths. I think it's in the 13 episodes I've gotten through so far, he's only died quickly twice. Otherwise, he's basically been blown to bits. I mean, I guess it's technically a quick death, but it's not a painless death. It's being smashed like a bug.
What exactly is the plot, then?
Something...
Cupcake shrugs.
Okay, so, the main girl that he's hanging out with is... explain the first couple episodes, once he gets a hang of this whole he's dying and reviving thing, he starts trying to figure out what's going on. And he works out that, or somebody explains to him that the king and his entire family were killed by a plague recently, and so a council of wise men is ruling the country that they're in right now. And there's like a bunch of people who are candidates to be the next ruler, and there's something going on where people are vying, like there's people vying to be the next ruler, and it's like that's the backdrop, but that really didn't even come into focus until the midway point. Like at episode 13 out of 26, they finally go back to the capital and like continue that thread. Like otherwise everything else is revolving around that thread. Like all the little like stories I've been following through the thing, like the backdrop is this whole competition. But everything that's been happening is happening in response or is tied into that in one way or another. Like the people he meets and what's going on, like they're all involved. And like I haven't had a chance to watch anymore, but like there's something going on with that, and like this backdrop of there's this witch of envy, and I don't know. Dude, I don't have a good explanation. This is a fucked up show.
Reminds me a little bit of Happy Death Day.
Probably.
It's a very... The only thing that matches is someone dying and coming back to life.
Like, it's a pretty good mix every episode of comedy and horror, which is a weird feeling. Like, it can go from very, like, he has episodes where he spends a lot of the episode, like, having, you know, silly fun, slice of life, harem anime shit. But then it just gets, like, it'll just twist, and it'll just be like, he's being murdered by something that he wasn't expecting. He doesn't know anything about the world, and so he's, like, constantly being attacked by shit that he isn't expecting. And he's trying to figure out all the people, and nobody trusts him initially because, like, he looks and feels like a spy from outside of the country. Because every time he dies, he remembers everything that happened before. So he learns stuff about people that they don't necessarily show him in each, like, return to the previous day. He's kind of living like Groundhog Day, and as long as he gets it right, he survives to the next day. But he remembers everything from all the failed attempts, so he knows shit about people that he shouldn't know. And every once in a while, like, the first, whatever, like, I'll say 12 episodes until they go back to the capital, it's basically him learning about people and using that information to try to get them on his side so they don't think he's a bad guy. Because, like, what's happening is, like, a lot of people just outright don't trust him, and they kill him to make sure that he's not a bad guy. It's, like, very cutthroat. Like, they kill him because they think, like, he's got to be a spy, and they're not going to take any chances. And he gets murdered a couple times this way because he says something he shouldn't know about one of the characters. Yeah. And they're like, well, you're obviously a spy, and then kill him. Sounds like, I don't want to give away the whole premise of the show, but it's just like, what the actual fuck? And, like, the big plot thread past the first, I'll say 3 episodes, is he gets... Once he figures out his, like, initial scenario and gets that figured out where he doesn't die, like, he ends up at this castle with all the, like, I guess would be the main characters, and, like, or all the supporting characters or whatever, and, like, there's this thing where he keeps dying on the 4th night staying at the castle, and he's trying to figure out what the hell's happening. And, like, the first, like, 3 episodes, he tries different things to figure out, like, what he's missing. He gets killed horribly over and over again. And when he eventually figures out that it's something that, like, was outside the castle, like, because he changes different things and then, like, raises suspicion, and different people and different things kill him, basically, because they just think, like, bad guy. He's a bad guy. He's got to die. And, like, the last, like, the 3rd or 4th episode, he makes a deal with one of the other inhabitants, and, like, they figure out, like, one of the actions he took the first time, the first timeline through, he did something that he, like, was like, the fourth time this happened, was, like, the first time he didn't do one of these actions, and one of the other people instead dies of what he'd been dying of continuously. Like, gets cursed and dies or whatever, and he's like, wait a minute. Like, this happened because I didn't go do this thing this last time. So that means that whatever was killing me isn't in the castle. It's like, out in this other place that I went to. And it's like, and then it turns into like another 4 episodes of them trying to figure out what it was where they went that killed, that like cursed them to die. It's just like, what the fuck am I watching? I mean, it's oddly good, but like, it's good in the sense that like, he's a moron and he's not afraid to admit that.
Is he actually like a good lead character, or is he like more the bland visual novel style character?
He's very self-aware. Like he's like from the very beginning, he's like, I'm an isekai main character, and like he thinks like he should have like superpowers and shit. Because I think that's always the thing. Like an isekai is like you wake up in a new world with like superpowers. He doesn't have any superpowers. His power is that if he dies and fucks up, he gets to try again. And I'm sure they're gonna twist that somehow in the like that back half where like doing that is like slowly killing him or something. Like, like killing him. Like eventually he's not gonna have any more tries or something. But like I have no idea. Like he's not particularly tough. He's very self-aware, which is kind of interesting. Like he's not dumb. Like he's dumb, but he's not like he's self-aware enough to realize like when he's making mistakes, he tries to fix the things he did wrong every time. And eventually he does figure out like why, like, like initially, like some of the characters don't trust him and everything he tries, they still like, they just like think he's a bad guy and they kill him at the end of every like timeline. Eventually he figures out like, as he gets to like talk to them more and more, he figures out like, he gets insight into their character and he's like, oh, this is why they think I'm, a bad guy and I have to die. And like, once he proves himself then, or, proves himself in the right ways, like, they are, like, he figures out a way where they don't kill him. And then he's trying to figure out, like, why is he dying, and blah, 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 and he's making friends with everybody, and, like, getting to know them, and he's trying hard to be successful, and it's hard to hate him for that, because he's not a goof. He's a goof, but he's not, like, he's not a lecher. He's not, like, overtly, like, perverted, like a lot of the characters will be. He's not a Mary Sue. He's a dumbass. He gets killed pretty regularly. He puts himself in situations that he has no chance, relying on the fact that his friends, all the people he's made allies with, are a whole lot more powerful than he is, and that they'll step in and basically builds rapport with his cohorts because he acts in a courageous, selfless way. So it's interesting. Like, it's horrifying to watch him die, but it's interesting to see him be brave, and not brave for any real reason. He's just brave because he can be. There's a whole scene at one point where it's one of the characters, like, he's torturing him because they don't believe what he's saying. He says, like, I'm only doing it because I can, not because I want anything. They're like, that's bullshit. You're a liar. Nobody does something for nothing. What are you looking for? It's like, I'm not looking for anything. I'm just trying to do the best I can. You're a liar, and like, start like cutting off his limbs and shit. And I'm like, whoa, like the guy is telling you this over and over again. Even the fact that you're like lopping off his legs, you're like, he's telling you like, no, this is the honest truth. And you're like, I don't believe you. And it ends with them basically slicing his throat open, and it's like, whoa, the guy said the same thing over and over again until the point of you killing him, and you still call him a liar. Like, literally, as he lays there dying, she's like, you're a fucking liar. You were never telling the truth, and you're gonna die. You'll die without us ever knowing what was really going on. He's just going like, no, I was just doing it because I could. Like, as he's bleeding out. Like, I kind of felt bad for him at that point, because he never, his story, I mean, he was telling the truth. He was telling the truth to the person. And, like, they still it was just beyond them to believe him. despite the fact that like she had lopped off his legs, his arms. Nope, still a liar. He's still hiding the truth. I'm like, I'm sorry. If you lopped somebody's limbs off at the elbows and the knees, I don't think they would have anything left to lie to you about. Like, it's pretty clear you're going to kill them if they don't tell the truth. There's no reason for them to lie. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm sorry I don't have a good way of explaining it. I'm just explaining like bits and pieces.
No, you're doing fine.
It's a weird show.
I mean, I certainly now know more than I did before, because, again, all I knew was twins.
Right. It's interesting. It's oddly... It juxtaposes the fan service odd, like, with the twin maids, but there's an explanation about why they're maids, and, like, they work it in. It's not just they're wearing maid outfits because they can. Like, it's... They explain... At one point, they explain the twins' backstory. You understand why they're maids. I'm watching it only because all of my coworkers at work want me to watch Isekai Quartet, which you have to have watched the 4 Isekais in the quartet to understand the Isekai Quartet anime, which is Overlord, which I've watched all of, ReZero, the Saga of Tanya the Evil, and Konosuba, which I don't even know how I'm going to watch Konosuba because you have to have a Crunchyroll account, but I'll probably just buy a subscription for a month and watch it.
How do you spell Konosuba?
Konasuba, Konosuba. It's bigger. The actual title's bigger than that, but it's what it colloquially goes by.
God's blessing of this wonderful world.
Yeah, it's it's basically let's all be stupid together. It's the main character is a big goofball, and he gets sent to this fantasy world. He wishes for the goddess that gave him the wish that she would come with him. It's the blue-haired girl, and like they have the little like lolly sorceress that just yells explosion and like blows stuff up.
Okay, this has nothing to do with what we were talking about, but I just checked my online because California Benefits has its own online website where you can log into and look at your benefits.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been approved for Medi-Cal!
Finally! Oh my god, I'm so sorry. It took so long.
I'll have to wake hubby up later and tell him, because he's napping right behind me.
Yes. I figured he needed a nap.
I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
Okay.
I've seen him breathing every once in a while.
But I am so happy. I was worried that my worker was going to fuck it up more and make it take longer.
Huzzah! So you can get your medical care again.
I can get my pills back because I have not been on lithium for a while.
Right.
And,
this is all,
and my Raylar.
This is all because your husband got like a raise or something? Like, I don't understand.
He suddenly made too much money for 2 people.
Was he a lot, or did he just like basically barely cross the bar?
I don't remember how much we were over, but it was like, come on, that can't be real kind of over. Like, it wasn't a drastically large amount.
Like, you weren't suddenly like 10 grand over, you were like $1,000 over.
Yeah. But that's all it takes.
Because I made the argument when you were talking to me, I was like, I was under that impression, because that's usually what happens, like suddenly you're making too much.
Yeah. They
changed the actuary tables. It's like, yeah, originally it was 27 and a half. Now it's 28 and a half. It's like, whoa, or like vice versa, or whatever. It's like, yeah. Whoa, what? Because I'm of the opinion that it should be a gradiated system. Like, if you suddenly come over the hump for like the lowest amount, like it shouldn't be like, oh, now you get nothing. It's like you get 90%.
Yeah, you get less than.
Right. And it works its way.
You start having to pay a little bit for things.
Right.
There's a clinic here. I don't know what it's called now. It used to be Peterson's Clinic.
Right.
Essentially, They do that with your bill. It's based on how much you make.
Right. Which is logical.
Yeah.
Because Jesus.
If you don't have insurance, that is.
Right.
But yeah, we were able to add because we claim her on his taxes, his mother, to our account. which means that he's making money for 3 people instead of 2, which raises the limit.
Right. I'm imagining significantly so, because 3 people sound like suddenly a lot more. Doesn't seem like it would be, but if I remember correctly, the tables for a couple versus 3 people is like huge.
I don't remember the table.
Right.
And it doesn't show the table on this website.
No, it won't, yeah.
I think Covered California shows me the table.
Right.
But I was real worried that we weren't. Because Covered California showed us things that we could supposedly afford, and no, logistically you could not afford to get health insurance through them. The most sensible one was like $82 a month.
Right.
Plus added expenses to see the doctors on top of your prescriptions.
Right. Oh, dude, insurance is such a joke. Like, I have insurance, and, like, it always costs an arm and a leg to, like, see anybody about anything. It's ridiculous.
That, and the insurance we would have had to go with, our psychiatrists and therapists don't accept.
Right.
Which, I don't want to go looking for new ones. I just got used to these current ones.
Right.
But now I get to make new appointments. And refill my prescriptions. And maybe get some sleep.
Right.
Alright, anyway, back to anime.
Yeah.
I haven't... My brain is fried. So other than, like, YouTube and whatever hubby puts on, which is usually, like, game shows or cooking contests.
Right.
I have just not been able to watch anything of substance. I keep trying to, and then my brain's like, nope. We're gonna go over here into the pity corner instead, and you can't pay attention to what you're doing.
Oh, I feel that. I feel it so hard. I just, like, I have no energy. I'm just...
Yeah. I had such a nice nap, though.
I bet.
It was only, like, 2 hours, but altogether. But I was doing laundry while napping.
There's nothing wrong with that.
So occasionally I'd wake up to...
All you need to know is I've been awake since 5 a.m.
Oh, my poor Cupcake.
Right.
Did you have
naps,
to go into
no
work,
breaks.
or...
Yeah, I have to work every weekend now until we get more help at work.
That blows.
So, like, I'm off 2 days during the week, and then I'm basically at work the rest of the week. So tomorrow I work 6:30 to 4, and Monday I work 6:30 to 4. Then I'm off Tuesday, Wednesday because my boss is on vacation. And then I work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then I took Monday through Friday off next week. Not this one, but the next one. Because I wanted to get a vacation in before our last part-timer leaves for college. And I can't take any vacations until, like, late October. I'm not actually planning on doing anything. I'm probably just going to sleep, but...
Sleep sounds good.
I know, isn't that sad? Like, what are you going to do with your week off? I'm like, sleep? Like, what? I'm like, sleep? Like, are you really going to sleep? I'm like, yes, I'm really going to sleep. Like, not literally all day, but I'm going to take a lot of naps.
Naps are good.
Right?
A lot of studies say naps are good.
Oh, yeah. It's not the only way I can recover, because I sleep like shit at night, but I can nap, like, a couple hours every, like, up for 4 hours, nap for a couple hours, up for 4 hours, nap for a couple hours, or whatever. Just short cat naps here and there. Gotta recharge my batteries.
Are you excited for Evangelion 2020?
Sure.
That's when the next movie comes out.
I mean, I have the first 3, so that's cool. I haven't watched them, but I have them.
Sometime in June, I want to say?
Well, that's cool.
I still have to watch all the new stuff. And I should probably watch all the old stuff first. Because I don't
know if I even care to see the new dub. I probably should watch it, but... A
lot of people are pissed that they changed the ending theme song.
Well, they couldn't get the rights to Fly Me to the Moon. Well, I shouldn't say they could get the rights, but the price was exorbitant. Like, don't ask me how they were able to do it in the 90s without any issues, but now apparently, like, holy fuck! Like the cost of the rights to it are just stupid in the U.S.
Mm-hmm. I don't have a Netflix account currently, so I haven't seen like the new dub.
Right.
But that's all I've ever heard about it. So I guess it's probably fine.
I mean, I have the Platinum Collection somewhere in my room, so like, I'll probably rewatch it before the last movie comes out.
Yeah, June. So that's... I don't know how long it's going to take them to dub it, though.
Probably another year or two.
Yeah. So it'll be a while.
I mean, it depends. Like, if Funimation gets the rights to it, they might have it simul-dubbed.
Did this article say anything about dubbing?
It'd be weird if another company got the rights to it, because Funimation has the rights to the first 3 movies. So if, like, I don't know, Sentai or somebody got the rights to the last movie, that would just be, like, crazy.
That would be weird.
I'm still waiting for them to... I'm still waiting for Sentai to get the rights to Amuro-chan Season 2. Like,
Amuro-chan?
it was on... Yeah, it's the one about my little sister, like... The little sister turns into like a chibi and she wears that.
Oh,
that thing. Yeah. Well, they did Season 1, but Season 2 got the streaming rights went to Amazon.
Yeah.
And I'm waiting for the home video rights to revert to Sentai so that I can freaking. It's like Sentai just got the home video rights to the one about the fucking cooking university.
Food Wars?
Mm-hmm.
That's about a university?
High school, whatever. But you know what I'm saying? Like a school.
I don't know that much about Food Wars other than I don't want to watch
the guy's going to like a prestigious culinary institute.
Oh, okay.
And it's Food Wars because they have battles. They have like, fucking Iron Chef battles with each other. But like, Season 3's been in limbo forever because of like the Funimation Crunchyroll partnership that like went under. And they just finally sold the rights to Sentai for the home video release. So they're like working on that. And I was so worried that it was like never gonna come out because like I have the first 2 seasons and then like Season 3 like was in limbo and I'm like, fuck.
Someday.
That's in progress. Well, my order of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure is on its way.
Can do it.
Hi, Ringo. Usually at yard like that, and he'll scratch the door.
Ah. Hi, Ringo.
Scratch Ringo's butt.
Mm-hmm. So we watched Goyo, Tokyo Fish Attack. When was that? Wednesday? Or was it Thursday?
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
What distracted you?
Guy says that like 8 or hundreds of generations of hummingbirds have lived around his house, and the new neighbors put feeders out, but they put out the wrong kind of stuff and basically wiped out the entire like population of hummingbirds.
Oh wow.
They all died of a fungal infection called candidiasis, which is a fungal infection of their tongues. So what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I was talking about Goyo, the movie we watched.
Oh, yeah. Fucking Junji Ito, whatever.
Junji Ito.
Just always weird horror.
But he's so good at it.
I know it's off-putting.
I mean, I would say the movie is probably a lot less gory than the original manga, but it has less time to fill, and for some reason they added sex scenes.
Right.
Because that's what every anime needs. Sex scenes.
I had such a throbbing headache from the whiskey that, like, half the movie I was just focusing on trying not to let the headache kill me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's fine. Well, it was interesting to say the least. Like, I'm not much for horror, so I was just like, that movie was dumb. It was all over with. But it's like, I wasn't shocked by it.
Yeah. Lots of, what are the words I'm trying to say?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Wait. What?
What?
I've never actually read the manga, but apparently the leads are switched around.
Yeah, I guess in the manga, the guy was the main character.
Yeah, and he survives, where
She's
Kaori
like
doesn't.
burned alive or something. At the
Her,
very end, he sees her burned body. He's like, at least she's finally free of the smell. I'm like,
yeah.
okay.
I don't know why they decided to go the other way.
Sex appeal, I guess. I don't know.
Probably. You need to have that tentacle shot where it's for some reason wrapped around her boob.
Right.
I mean, as horror goes, it's a pretty fun movie.
It was a thing.
Yes, it was a thing.
I can't say it was like my favorite movie of all time, because it wasn't. But like, it was a movie. I mean, I'm not much for horror to begin with, so like, I'm just kind of like, I mean, my problem is I tend to find like that whole type of like bizarre, absurd horror to be like try hard.
Yeah. Trying just a little too hard to creep you out.
Right.
The,
like, I mean, it has its proponents, but it's not me. I don't even know what I like anymore because, like, the more education I gained, like, the more media was ruined for me.
I'm sorry?
I mean, it's not your fault. It's kind of like knowing why things happen makes it less surprising and therefore less interesting. Experience plus education equals some form of wisdom that basically, like I've talked about this, like I've learned enough about storytelling as a concept, like the idea of telling a story, that I have what my friends refer to as precognition about movies. And I'm like scarily, like we can walk into a movie and I'm like, I mean, I don't have a good example lately, but like, a good example that's kind of a spoiler, but at this point, if you haven't seen, what was the last Avengers called? Not End of Infinity. It was War Games? Endgame?
Endgame.
So, like, we walked in, and the first thought I had, like, before seeing anything, I said, it's going to end with Tony Stark getting the gauntlet. Everybody went, no, it'll be someone else. No, it'll be Tony Stark will get the gauntlet. He'll make a wish, and that'll be that. And, like, the end of the movie came, and Tony Stark got the gauntlet, and all of my friends slapped me across the back of the head, ruining the fact that Tony Stark got the gauntlet.
It's not like you knew. It was a guess.
But I knew my guess was right the first time they showed his gauntlet. That's basically just an Iron Man gauntlet.
Yeah.
I'm going, so Tony Stark's gonna get the Infinity Gauntlet. And they're like, how can you be sure of that? I'm like, the gauntlet that he gave the Hulk is an Iron Man gauntlet. Like it's he at the end of the movie somehow he's gonna get it. I don't know how, but he's going to. And at the end of the movie, when he got the gauntlet, I went, no shit, Sherlock. But yeah, that's because, storytelling.
Well, yeah, it clearly foreshadowed that it would end up in his hands. It's an Iron Man gauntlet.
Right. It's like with anime, like the more stuff I watch, the faster, like the faster I watch stuff. I'm just like, this is this or this is that, and it's like honestly shocking that. I mean, partly it's Sturgeon's law too with anime. I've seen all the really good anime from most of the last 30 years, I guess, at this point, because I've watched everything from like the mid 80s all the way up to present. So the stuff I'm watching that I've picked up in between is like I'm going farther and farther down the barrel, starting to scrape the bottom. There's stuff like Sister Princess, which is fucking awful. It's awful. It's not a good show. It's fucking awful. I still think of some other ones. Mystical Ninja Goemon. Fucking awful. Not even bad, just boring. I mean, it's my whipping boy for this. It's not bad, it's boring.
It's terrible when something's just boring.
Mm-hmm. Because we've had this conversation. Bad can actually be interesting if you go bad enough.
Yeah.
Because it's enjoyable for what is. You can. I've made the argument that watching things that are quote unquote bad, you can learn from. Because you can go like, these are all the ways you don't want to structure a story, or you don't want to shoot a movie. Or these are we can learn from each other's mistakes, but just being mediocre to the point of it's the visual equivalent or the storytelling equivalent of tap water. Like, it's not bad, it just lacks any flavor whatsoever.
It's very mediocre.
Right.
And there is a lot of mediocre shit out there.
Right.
Because it's following, like, very simple formulas with no substance added to them.
Technically sound, but spiritually devoid of anything of interest.
Yeah.
And, like, I kind of wasn't sure. Like, initially watching the first couple episodes of ReZero, I was kind of going, like, this might be okay. Like, I got a little freaked out by the horror aspect initially. I was like, well, I wasn't expecting him to be brutalized like that, but okay, whatever. And then, like, it kind of became this thing of, like, he's not actively trying to get killed, but he's also willing, now that he's died a couple times, and that, like, and smart, like, the smart wizard sorcerer type people in the world he's living in are going, like, you look like the kind of person who's faced death more than once. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just a simple idiot. They're like, no, you have the look and the smell of somebody who's faced the Grim Reaper a couple times. And he has to play stupid, like, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm an idiot. I've never died before. Like the really powerful sorcerers are going, you smell like death. I'm trying to think of like some other good examples of like just emotionally void of anything of interest. Can't really.
To go back to Happy Murder Day, that has kind of a similar aspect, except for it's intentionally kind of a trashy horror.
Right.
It's both shock value and comical. Whilst having the supernatural aspect of her coming back to life constantly and having to attempt to figure out why, one, she keeps dying, two, how she keeps coming back to life.
Always an interesting thought.
So, I mean, if you like trashy horror, I recommend it. I hear the second one's not that great. I didn't watch it. Hubby did.
Right.
So, I mean, someday I'll get around to watching it, but apparently it goes a little bit into exclamation mode instead of just trying to be what it is.
Right. The old show, don't tell.
Mm-hmm.
I will admit I do need to watch more Letterkenny.
Yes, you do. Letterkenny's awesome. We have to wait for the new season because we binge watched it all.
Yeah.
didn't think we would enjoy a Canadian hit comedy show, but
It's
works.
surprisingly well written.
And apparently it started out as a YouTube series.
I guess. The dichotomy of, like, the Hicks being really, like, socially progressive is hilarious.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're Canadians, so...
Right. But, like... I love that his little sister is drop dead beautiful, but that to him is completely unimportant.
Mm-hmm.
Like... There's at some point they bring up the fact that she dresses provocatively. He's like, that's one of her flaws, but I don't hold it against her. And it's like, that's all he ever says about it. Like that's the only statement he makes, and after that, it's never brought up again.
Mm-hmm.
And then the male models, we're so fat, ugly, we smell bad.
So French.
I don't know. I love Wayne as a character just because every so often, like when they're sitting in the farmhouse or whatever, like they'll cut to the tail, he'll just randomly be holding his pit bull.
Yeah. And he's just like giving him headlocks and shit. That is one well-behaved dog.
Right. I am absolutely and positively amused by that. Just randomly, just like it'll cut to them, like they're talking around the table, everything's fine. It cuts away, it cuts back. He's just got the dog in his arms, like. Yeah, that's my baby. It's like, where the hell did that come from?
Sometimes you want to cuddle your dog. Sometimes your dog is a bit giant for that.
Right. Looks at Ringo.
Well, apparently Ringo came in here just to sleep.
Stranger things have happened. And apparently Goblin Slayer's coming out on disc. When? Oh, Halloween. What a shock. I might actually have to pre-order that.
All I know about it is that it's like quite dark and a little rapey.
Oh, it's a whole lot of rapey from what I've been told.
I'm just...
Not him particularly, but there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah. Like, the world itself is very aggressively anti-female.
Right.
I keep meaning to watch it for myself, but again, I just don't have the brain.
I'm sure you will eventually.
I'm sure once the lithium and the Raylar kick back in, I'll be fine. As fine as I was before.
Brian, didn't you have a brain slug on you? Yeah, I wonder what happened to it. Oh, he starved to death. I miss old Futurama.
Some things have to die eventually, though.
Yeah, I know.
Apparently the Simpsons never will, but...
Yeah, Simpsons. No, neither Family Guy. Family Guy can't die either.
Yeah.
It's like 20 years old.
I swear, whenever I watch it, it's like, are they just trying to see what they can get away with?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Like, American Dad is actually pretty good these days. It's got, like, a real plot now.
Right.
Compared to Family Guy.
I think Family Guy, it's like one of those things, like, Seth MacFarlane realized he basically had another Simpsons in his hand, and just, like, I wonder how, like, what I could do that would seem to run into the ground, but it's got so much momentum that it won't have any effect.
Let's see. Facebook is boring. There's no new news on my feed. Let's see what's trending on Twitter.
I'd like to state for the record that Kami-san can't communicate, needs to be an anime, like, and now.
You were saying that earlier, and I'm like, I don't even think I've heard of that.
It's amazing, and it's adorable.
Like, how adorable.
Like, okay, so Kami-san is this, like, like ideal Japanese lady. She's a high school student, but she's like they're freshmen or whatever at the beginning of the thing, and she's she's beautiful and she has these ravenous eyes, blah blah blah, and
silky long black hair, pale skin.
Everybody's vast in her glory and blah blah blah, and when people look at her, she just stares through them and they wilt away and blah blah blah. And then the main guy, I can't think of his name. He's like an everyman. He's average in every way possible.
They usually are.
Like, that's the joke. Like, his name translated, like, his name, like, the parts of his name translated just, like, average everyman. Hido, I can't think of what his last name is. Well, anyway, so he, like, in the one shot that started it, like, before it was even a series, like, it was a one shot that the manga author did. He's following her, Tadano-san. He's, like, following her, and he's like, how you doing? And she's like, she just kind of, like, looks at him. He's like, don't feel like talking? And she, like, looks at, just, like, looking at him, ... And all of a sudden he kind of goes, like, do you have trouble communicating with people? And her eyes get really wide, like, holy shit, he just, like, read my mind. and they like walk over to like the blackboard and start like writing shit to each other. And she can communicate fine as long as she doesn't have to physically speak. So she carries like a notebook around with her and she'll just write what she's thinking. But like their first conversation is done on the blackboard in the back of the classroom at the end of like the first day of class. And they're just talking to each other via written messages on the chalkboard. And she basically tells him her goal is to make 100 friends because she's never had any friends. And he's like, yeah, I'll help you with that. And it's all about them making friends and meeting classmates and going out on they go to the beach, they go on their field, their class trip.
The classical cliches.
Right.
Of what high school students do.
It's just about her basically, like, people getting the wrong idea because she never speaks.
Can you hear him snoring?
No, I can't.
Okay, that means the microphone probably can't. It's ever so soft.
It doesn't look like he's snoring very hard, so...
No. I only noticed because he fucking snores in rhythm.
I heard that one.
Anyway, that sounds very wholesome.
Yeah, it is.
I hope it gets an anime then. I mean, there are a lot of products out there that deserve an anime. Where'd you go? Oh no. There you are. What happened?
Whoa. What the hell happened?
I don't know, you went out.
You went out too. I'm just standing there like, hello? Hello?
I blame Chrome.
Like, I started looking like Professor Screw-Eye from the end of We're Back, a Dinosaur Story. No, don't leave me alone. I'm very afraid. Then the crows, like, peck out my eyes. That has to be, like, the most gruesome, like, villain death not observed by the main characters I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, don't ask me why that stuck with me all of my life, but, like, it has. And it's terrifying.
I don't call it terrifying, but it is, like, the most... What are the words I'm looking for? The most part I remember of the movie.
Right.
Compared to from way back in the day of watching it. Like, I remember that there were cheesy songs and the two kids and all that sort of stuff, but, like, I could very much just straight recall that scene.
Right.
Probably because it's a little horrifying.
Here's what I remember, and this is what's sad. I remember Walter Cronkite playing it's No, it is. It's Dr. Bright Eyes, who gives them the brain gain pills, giving them sapience over sentience. And Jay Leno playing his assistant, Honk Honk, the goddamn alien. Martin Short playing the clown, who's the assistant to Professor Screw-Eye, the bad guy. And I don't even remember who plays Professor Screw-Eye, but it is fucking... He's got the most terrifying, like, evil old man voice I've ever heard. And I'm pretty sure the little girl is played by the
woman that does Lisa Simpson.
Yes.
Because it sounds very similar.
No, I think you're right. I can't think of her name right now, but John Goodman is the T-Rex.
Yeah, Professor Screw-Eyes is Kenneth Mars.
Yes. Oh my god. And Julia Childs plays the doc, like the doc that runs the Museum of Natural History. Like, it's a dumb film, but like the people they got to play the characters is just crazy. Like, yeah, Jay Leno is Vorb the alien. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not Dr. New Eyes, it's Captain New Eyes. Walter Cronkite is Captain New Eyes. Yeah, Yardley Smith is Cecilia. Martin Short is Stubbs the Clown. What do I know Kenneth Mars from? He's the voice of King Triton in Little Mermaid.
Jesus Christ, he's been working for a while.
He's dead now, but he was active 62 through 08. That's crazy. Well, good for him, man. He kept active all the way through.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't recognize most of this stuff, but he's been around.
Wow, he was Dr. Wally from SWAT Cats, the Radical Squadron. I actually have no idea who Dr. Wally is, but I love SWAT Cats. I don't actually love SWAT Cats. I love the intro to SWAT Cats.
The intro to SWAT Cats was the best. It got you so hyped.
Right.
And then it switches to, like, less professional-looking animation in the actual show.
Right. All I remember is that amazing guitar riff, and then the big cat going, "Let's go!" and the little cat going, "Yeah!" And then it just, like, cuts to them pulling their fighter pilot gear on and jumping in that fucking fighter jet. It's just like, da 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 da. It's like, well, fuck yeah, they're gonna go blow up a giant monster. He did a lot of voiceover. Wow.
Oh, he's Grandpa Longneck. That's probably where I remember his voice from.
It's from the Apple Dumpling Gang Rides Again. Wasn't that a Tim Conway movie? Yes, it was. Tim Conway, Don Knotts. The only reason I know anything about the Apple Dumpling Gang is because MST3K made fun of it repeatedly. Oh, and speaking of TV shows, Good Eats is coming back this month.
Yes, it is!
I'm glad you're as excited as I am about this. I don't know how to feel about bald Elton Brown, though.
I'm used to it because I watch Cutthroat Kitchen.
Oh, sure.
Which is a great show, and everybody should watch because it's hilarious as fuck. Just to...
I always forget that, like, the original Good Eats run started, like, in, like, the late 90s.
Dude, that show is old.
Dude, I have, because I've never done a release, I actually have, like, pirated the entire series up until, like, whatever's coming out now that hasn't, come out. And, like, watching season 1, I'm like, oh my god, he's so young. And then, like, I realized this is, like, 1998. I'm like, holy shit, I was, like, 10 years old.
Yeah.
I don't think it's actually quite that early, but it's like turn of the century. '99.
Really? 99?
Right.
I feel like it was older than that, but 99 was actually quite a long time ago.
Right.
It doesn't feel like it because I grew up in the 90s, but...
Right. Right. I'm both sad and excited because, like, I don't have cable, so I don't know how the hell I'm gonna watch. Probably, hopefully, they'll pirate it. And I can watch it on streaming sites.
It might be picked up by Hulu. They have a lot of Food Network shows on there.
Right.
Which means I'll be able to watch it. That, and we have live TV through Hulu, so... Stupid website auto-playing things.
I don't even remember Good Eats Reloaded.
Yeah, I didn't catch that. I keep meaning to watch it, but I don't know.
It just says that it revisited classic Good Eats episodes, adding new science, new scenes, and new recipes.
Yeah, like, older him will pause the show and talk over it or do a segment from it.
Yeah, he'll take 5 minutes and go, okay, so this is what I thought in 1999, but I was wrong. And now I can tell you, I was wrong. Science has come a long way. We can do miracles with turkey.
Mm-hmm. Or now there are, like, mini home gadgets that can do this thing, or...
Right.
For cheap.
He's gone back and forth about deep fryers, like, so many times. Like, it's a pot. You want a deep fryer. Now he's like, dude, fuck deep fryers. You want an air fryer.
Oh, I wish we owned an air fryer.
I know, me too.
They're so expensive.
You know what I want an air fryer for? And don't laugh. It's frozen snacks. Like pizza rolls, chicken nuggets.
Oh, okay. I'm like, you want to put ice cream in there?
No. They're like frozen hot snacks. Like stuff you can heat up in the microwave. Like the microwave is too mushy, the oven takes too long, but a air fryer can do it at the same time that a microwave can, and it won't be mushy.
Yeah.
Mostly pizza rolls, chicken nuggets, taquitos.
Oh, so many chicken nuggets.
Oh, yeah, no. You know what's sad? My favorite is Walmart brand Great Value breaded chicken nuggets. Not the wings, not the strips, the actual chicken nuggets.
I don't remember the name of the brand we buy. Let me see if I can find it.
Sure.
But it's from Grocery Outlet, not Walmart.
Grocery Outlet?
Grocery Outlet's like an overstock store.
Oh, sure.
Is that it? Encore?
Oh, Encore are good, I think.
Yeah. They make nuggets and patties and shit like that.
ONCOR?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not a bad brand.
No. I didn't mean to imply it was, just that I couldn't remember the name, as in they're cheap.
Right.
They're good kind of cheap, though.
I mean, the whole reason I go with the Walmart brand ones is that they're like $9 for 5 pounds here, which is a lot of chicken nuggets, honestly. And if I'd go to like Sam's Club or Costco, I could get an even bigger container.
I don't want to pay $100 a month for a Costco card.
Is that what Costco is a month? $100?
It used to be. I don't know if it still is. Because you can take food stamps there, but how could I be on food stamps but be able to afford Costco?
Work for a government agency?
True.
I mean, we get Sam's Club Like, just by working for my company, we get Sam's Club memberships for free.
I don't even know where the nearest Sam Club is.
I remember it was Costco. I've never bothered because I have family members that have memberships to both. So I just like, hey, I want to go there. You need anything? My grandpa's like, yeah, I need stuff from Sam's Club. It's like, okay, cool.
Okay, the base membership is only $60.
A month?
Yeah. I think that's a
Never
month.
mind. I hope not, because that's fucking expensive as shit.
No, annual membership, I'm sorry.
Yeah, $60 a year, so it's like $5 something a month.
Yeah. I guess you could afford that.
That's doable. I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I'm not arguing that point. But, like, that's more doable. At $60 a month, that'd be ridiculous. You would have to be, like, buying a lot of food to make that worthwhile.
Well, that was a loud thud from somewhere.
Uh-oh.
It didn't sound like it was in the apartment, so I don't know.
It came from inside the house. Indeed. Looking at A&N to see if there's anything interesting, but I don't know.
Oh, I don't know if I said this last time, but Good Omens turned out to be a really good fucking show.
Yeah, I'm not shocked.
I love the book. I still own it.
What about a Terry Pratchett book?
It's a Terry Pratchett Neil Gaiman book.
Which is why at the premiere there was his hat and scarf on the seat next to Neil Gaiman.
Yeah, and Neil Gaiman's getting a lot of pressure to write more because it was such an excess.
Right.
But he stated that he's not sure he's comfortable doing it by himself without Terry Pratchett.
Right.
Because I wouldn't.
Right.
And it's pretty concise, clean-cut story. It has, like, an ending.
Okay.
Other than the fact that these characters still exist in this world, there's really not much more to say about them.
Oh, you could do some more stuff with the world. You just basically wouldn't do anything with those characters.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't hold it against him if he's like, you know, I want to do some more stuff with the world, but not the characters we built together.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't blame him for not wanting to do anything with it at all. Like, that's fair, too. I just mean, like, I don't begrudge people world building after someone, you know, who helped start it dies, because that's just part of creation. Like, if you do a good job, people are gonna want to live in that world. They're gonna want to see stories from that world, and there's nothing technically wrong with that.
There's quite a few book series out there that have a dead author that the series got picked up by another author to continue it.
There's a ton of manga that were like that, where the author suffered a severe, like, you know, cancer, heart attack, stroke, dies, and like somebody finishes it because it's just like, you're almost done, can't leave it unfinished.
Yeah. Well, apparently the life of a mangaka is, like, stressful as fuck.
Right. No arguments there.
Mm-hmm.
Just watching all A Sister Is All You Need fucking could tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know. A Sister Is All You Need is a story about a bunch of light novel and mangaka writers basically complaining about how stressful their lives are. And the twist is that the main character he's got a sister complex.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious because his little brother is actually his little sister, and he just doesn't realize it. Later in the light novels, they explain why, and I don't remember what it was, but it's something silly. And he just, like, blanked out the fact that, like, his little brother is actually his little sister.
Yeah. I mean, if they started pretending to be the other fairly soon in their life, I can see forgetting.
There's like a deal like she's actually his stepsister, and she's like he's aware of the fact, like in the back of his mind, he's aware of the fact that she's a girl, pretending to be his brother. Like she is a girl, like she's cisgender and everything, but she's doing this for some bizarre reason that their father, they share a father but have different mothers, like put forward about protecting her from something. It never comes up in the anime. It's like later on in the light novels. I don't think they're going to make a second season. There's something going on.
What was the comic I was reading? I think it's on Webtoon? Hang on. Let me see if I can find it.
I'm making a season 2 to Bananyanya, which is kind of interesting.
I have not watched any of that.
It looks cute. I'll watch it sometime.
Shit, what is it called? Where was I reading it? Oh, this is gonna bug me.
Wow. Those are some serious tits. Holy shit.
Okay.
The Infinite Stratos manga is resuming in September, and they have just like the first volume's cover. I always forget like the main girl, like the main like love interest to the guy, like her tits are volleyball sized. And he's carrying her on. He's got her like on his back, or her tits are just gigantic. Has nothing to do with anything. I'm just kind of like, wow, that's a big set of dohonkaroos.
Okay, I can't remember the fucking name of it, and I don't remember where I was reading it. But it's a magical girl comic, but the main character's trans. They want to be a man, but they come from a long line of, they didn't know this at the time, of magical girls who save the world because they've been blessed by the goddess of light.
Right.
And it's both comical and very serious about body dysmorphism.
Right.
Because every time he becomes the magical girl, he goes back into a female shape. And that's just terrible for somebody who's already feels trapped in their own body.
Right.
Being forced to do that every time you need to save the world.
That's a dark concept.
It's very funny, I give it props for its realism of the main character, but I can't fucking remember what it's called. Aha! It's called Magical Boy! I found it!
Yay!
You can read it for free on Tapas. I highly recommend. It's also really like an extremely feminine, over-the-top magical outfit. Like, it has the... What are the words I'm looking for? I can't find words today. English is hard. I did have to learn it a second time. Like, the makeup is very dramatic and overdone, and the dress is just very puffy. It's very, like, Gothic Lolita pastel-y.
Right.
So, yeah, highly recommend, now that I can remember what the fuck it's called.
Lord.
It's okay, I found it. Whoop! What was that?
That was the empty water bottle tipping. It's by the high velocity fan over here, and eventually the wind catches it right, it just tips over. First couple times it happened, it scared the shit out of me before I realized what was going on. Like if there's any amount of water in the bottom, it'll stay up. But if it's empty, like they are now, they'll just tip like crazy.
Oh, also, look what I got from Goodwill after I dumped everything next to it. Oops, sorry, ghost.
Oh wow, that's a cool find.
Sadly, it doesn't work. I tried putting batteries in it, and the motion sensor just won't do anything anymore, so it doesn't talk. It's now that I remember this is an audio program, it's a turret from Portal 2. And 1, I guess.
That's a lie. It's a nuclear weapon.
I don't have the brains for nukes. Although I suppose if the Russians can do it, I can do it.
Right.
Are we out of stuff to talk about?
I think so.
And you need your rest.
Yeah, it's almost 11. I should probably go to bed.
Yeah, okay then.
Thank you once again for listening to the super happy fun Jabbertron Tea Party podcast with Kiki and Cupcake. To believe that the United States' post-racial requires an almost incomprehensible inability or unwillingness to stare truth in the face. Farewell, my fellow internet beings.
Good night, Cupcake.
Good night.